Good morning, friends. Today we're going to be doing some fun things with the humble egg. So for this you're going to need some eggs in the carton. Very important. Make sure that each egg does not have a crack on it. It doesn't matter what color the eggs are. It doesn't matter what size they are. Also, you need one egg that you have hard boiled. Make sure you know which one that is too. You're going to need a flashlight and water and a supply of vinegar, white vinegar, plain white vinegar, and that's about it for our needs today. But let's get started with investigating the wonderful, magical, strong, and resilient egg. Inside every egg, there are two main parts. There's the yolk, which is bright yellow, and a ball, and what's called the white of the egg, even though it's clear. The yolk has many good, and the egg white have many good nutrients for a potential baby chicken to thrive. So let's see what's actually inside an egg. This is a supermarket chicken egg. We're going to crack it, and the egg falls right out of the eggshell, and you can see that the egg yolk stays in a circle, but the egg white is spreading out because it's really a gel. Now inside the yolk, there is actually outside of the yolk, keeping it in that shape, there is an extra very, very thin membrane or skin, almost like an extra plastic bag. So if we pop that, which I'm going to do with the edge of the eggshell, we can see the egg yolk will start to flow out of there it is. You see it there, coming out. So an egg doesn't just have the shell, it has extra protection inside. Now, right inside the eggshell, there is another skin. It's another form of, it seems almost like plastic. It's protective, and it's wrapped all around the egg. Here it is right there, that floppy thing. Right inside, all around the shell. You can see it when you crack the egg open, and also if you hard boil an egg. When you touch an egg, it feels very slimy. Normally in the kitchen, you would wash your hands thoroughly after touching a raw egg. Now, there's no baby chicken in there. These eggs are only one tiny part of the chicken. They have everything they need to grow a baby chicken, should one be there, but in these circumstances, all you have is the food for the baby, or embryo as it's called, should there be one. Now, eggs are really surprising, and they have wonderful properties. And I'm going to show you what one of them is. I'm going to pretend that, well, I'm not pretending, I actually did do it. I have hard boiled, that means I have cooked one of these eggs in this carton. But I didn't remember where I put the egg. And now I find that all of the eggs look the same. I don't know which egg I boiled and which one is raw inside. If you cook an egg it becomes solid inside the white and the yolk. So how do I know which egg is the cooked one? Well, let me pick up a couple. Wow, they all seem to be pretty much weigh the same. Yep, because I didn't take anything away or add anything. I wonder whether my special egg will sink or float. This is the one I think is boiled, but I don't know. Let's see. Here's a bowl of water, and I'm going to put these 2 eggs. I think one of them is hard-boiled, but I don't know which one is. I'm going to put them into the water. What do they do? Okay, well, that one sank. It's sitting at the bottom of the bowl. What about this one? Well, they both sank. So much for that. That's not a good way to tell which egg is which. So let's do another fun trick. We're going to spin the egg. Now, if you're going to do this, make sure that you are doing it safely. Otherwise, you'll have a very big mess on the table. Spinning an egg is something that it's best to do this not as if you were having a dreidel, not as if you were using it on one end, but spin it lying on its side. Okay, so I'm going to spin this egg first. Just twist it. It's very slow and ponderous, and it's moving. It's kind of flopping every which way. Oof. Let's try this egg. Wow, look at that one go. My goodness. Well, I need to test one more egg just to make sure that that wasn't a chance encounter. Oh, these eggs are raw eggs. Raw eggs because they have all that gooey liquid inside and that heavy yolk in the middle. It's not, the yolk will swing from one side to the other of the egg and make it keep rocking from side to side and not spin. Inside the cooked egg, everything is hard, so it can spin pretty easily. So, good, this is my hard-boiled egg right here. That's good to know. Now, let's see what the hard-boiled egg looks like inside, shall we? I'm going to break the shell. Okay, I hope I was right now. There we go. And you can peel off the shell. There it is. And the membrane right underneath. And there is my egg white. Kind of a little bit bouncy and rubbery. Keep peeling, keep peeling. Oh. Right. Keep taking the eggshell off. Sometimes it's easier than other times. Inside it stays the egg white now. What we call the egg white has actually turned white. And if you were eating a brown shelled egg, the egg white would still be white. The color of the shell does not change in any way what's happening to the inside of the egg. Now, in the same way with that raw egg, you see the membrane. You see it? That skin that protects the egg is still attached to the shell. And here is my hard-boiled egg. I'm very glad that turned out right. So I'm going to put my hard-boiled egg right back inside the container. Now it's pretty clear which one it is. I'm going to gather up my eggshell. And let's look at something that happens to an egg. That's a lot of fun if you put it into different liquids. Okay, I put a regular egg into a jar of white vinegar, and I left the egg, here's my big jar of white vinegar, and left the egg in the white vinegar for 2 days. Let's see what happened to it, shall we? Now, if you look carefully, the egg has bubbles all around the outside. All around the outside, it has bubbles. And there's some white, funky stuff in there, but let's actually now take the egg out and put it on a plate. Just want to protect myself if something should break. I'll put my hand in the jar. Oh, it feels very weird. Let's take the egg out. Got to be careful because I don't want to mess up the egg. And there it is. I'm going to rinse it off in this pot of water over here. Dry it very carefully. Whoa. How interesting. It is squishy and bouncy. Do you think you can actually bounce it? Let's see. But first of all, I'm going to see what happens if we try and shine a flashlight through it. The shell, the eggshell, the hard white outside of the egg has disappeared. Here I have a flashlight. Let's see if I can shine the flashlight through the egg, and you can see inside that the yolk is still sitting in there. It's a little darker yellow than the outside. How interesting. What happened to the eggshell? Well, I'll explain in a few minutes. But let's see what happens to our egg. We're going to call this a naked egg. After all, it doesn't have any outer shell on. It looks very squishy and rubbery. Let's see if it bounces. Should we try? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. It bounced. It did not break. No, that's good. Should we try it again? Okay. Wow! Now you can try this from higher and higher to see at some point it might break. But I don't think I'm going to try it right here. I think I'm just going to show you how beautiful it is and explain what happened to the shell. Vinegar is an acid, and what it does when it gets onto the eggshell is made of a calcium salt, a bit like chalk. And what happens, the vinegar makes bubbles of a gas called carbon dioxide. That's that stuff that is in your soda. It's what happens when you mix baking soda and vinegar and you make your fake volcanoes explode. And in this case, what it does is it breaks down the eggshell until it dissolves completely, leaving that membrane that I showed you that's inside the hard eggshell, leaving, this is the only thing that's left now. The hard, crunchy eggshell has just dissolved. It has gone into the vinegar solution. And now we have our incredible bouncing egg. Now there's only so many times you can bounce it before even the membrane is going to decide it's going to pop. But that looks pretty cool. If you just leave an egg in water, this will not happen. It has to be vinegar, but I'll show you. Let's put a regular egg with an intact eggshell into our jar that had vinegar. Now, got to be careful, I don't want to crack the shell. Now I'm going to just pour water on top of my egg. Let's see. And in fact, the egg is just sitting there doing absolutely nothing but getting a little bit more washed than it was. However, if I put this egg into plain white vinegar, let's see what happens. It's very cool. This is particularly exciting if you put some coloring in the vinegar also. We can try that in a few minutes. So let's put vinegar over our egg. Wow. And right away, I see some bubbles. There are bubbles forming all around the egg as the shell is very slowly now dissolving. Shall we add some color? How about some red? That sounds good to me. A couple of drops of red food coloring. 1, 2. Whoa. Into the vinegar. Swirl it up a little bit. Wow. Now you can see the egg with pink bubbles around it, and I am going to see what happens after a whole day in the vinegar. I wonder if the egg will turn white. Will turn pink. Either the eggshell may turn pink, or maybe even our membrane, our rubber egg may be pink. Wouldn't that be so amazing? We can check on that tomorrow. Right now, I'm just going to leave it in the vinegar for a while. Add a little bit of extra, so no parts are left free. Top on, and let's see what happens to our egg tomorrow. In the meantime, have fun with your bouncy egg. See how far up you have to drop it in order for it to break. That's something you can do with your friends. You can measure holding the egg further and further away from a plate or the ground. I do warn you to put plastic down on the ground, quite a lot of it, because this will splatter everywhere. And let's see whose egg bounces the longest and whose egg breaks first. I think both those things are going to be a lot of fun to find out. That is one of the wonderful things we can do with eggs. Next time, we are going to work on a special project to drop a raw egg, not an egg like this, an egg with the shell intact. We're going to see how far we can hold it up and drop it before it breaks. Not on its own. We are going to see whether we can design a special package to protect the egg from breaking. And let's see whose package is going to protect the egg best. See you next time.